Jullumba. I'm 11 years old and I have been to every single climate strike since 2018.
Oh look, it's been fantastic to be in support of the school kids striking for climate change. The younger generation get it. Climate change is real. We need to join with them in their movement. We're part of the movement to make sure that we're dealing with climate action.
Scott Morrison, we are
I think they played a big role in the Labour victory actually in pushing back against the climate denialism of the coalition, and they did it in a really intelligent way because they worked with unions all the way through and they made sure that they understood how important it was to talk about a just transition.
Yeah, wind farm, yeah. They're going to build offshore wind turbines out to sea.
So the next opportunity for us is the offshore wind, and we've seen the wind zones in Gippsland, Portland, in Illawarra, in Newcastle and off of Bunbury in Western Australia and off Tasmania. And there's over 100 proponents looking to build offshore wind in this country. Is generations of work for us.
We assembled here and then towed out to sea with the offshore vessels.
Then you will have a total new offshore fleet.
There's been huge interest from companies around the world who want to actually come in and build that infrastructure. And what the union's doing is we're signing MOUs with those companies to make them commit to providing good union jobs on those projects.
We know that we're in the middle of a climate crisis, and offshore wind and renewable energy is a fundamental component for us going forward, but not without unions.
Our lifespan of an offshore wind farm is about 30 years. By the time we've finished constructing that first round, we'll be starting to deconstruct and replace again. It's ongoing work for our members.
Legal reform. Thankfully, this significant piece of research we're launching today identifies the current regulatory gaps.
So what is decommissioning? It's a full removal of all of the retired assets in the oil and gas. Some of it's been sitting there for 10 and 15 years, rusting away.
We've got nearly 6,000 kilotons of equipment, subsea infrastructure that needs to come out of the ocean, off the coast, be recycled and disposed of properly. There's about 9% of it in the Bass Strait, and the lion's share is in the west. 50% of that work needs to be done in the next decade.
We've got several vessels now, crewed by MUA members, working to do the preliminary work to get all those facilities ready to be removed.
There's 3 fields actually being decommissioned as we speak, and that's created dozens of seafaring jobs, but also hundreds of jobs onshore.
$60 billion worth of work in decommissioning. That's jobs for seafarers, jobs for divers, jobs for port workers. We've seen the first agreement with Link signed in the Port of Ashburton, where we're doing that decommissioning work across the waterfront.
As much as I have criticised NOPSEMA, I will come out in NOPSEMA's
It has been
defence.
very positive that the oil and gas regulator, NOPSEMA, has been requiring companies to do the removal work that they don't want to do. But the union's got a lot of work to do to keep staying on them at every step of the way and making sure that that infrastructure is removed and it's done in a safe way that leaves the environment safe and secure for future generations.
We also need to do this as quickly as possible to make way for the offshore wind, so that overlap doesn't create a bottleneck.
But what we've seen arise at the same time is a really nasty, cynical, dishonest campaign that's largely being funded by the far right and by the Nationals and by the coalition. They're basically fear-mongering in each and every community where offshore wind projects might be built, along with any other form of renewable energy, to stir up opposition.
As someone who did work on the North West Shelf on long-standing installations, I can say from personal experience that I've seen, and this is on somewhere like Ningaloo Reef, which is a marine park, I've seen the abundant sea life that's there. The whales, they've got the best sonar in the world, and if we don't transition to a more renewable source of power, then they're going to be cooked anyway because of what's happening with global warming and the climate change.
What are we coming today?
Wind turbines and decarbonising and reducing our carbon emissions is the biggest thing we do to actually help whales and all the rest of the sea life in the ocean that's under threat.
As young, progressive women, we want to see a sustainable future for generations to come.
You have workers up there who are scared. They're scared that, that they're not going to have a future. So it's important for us, especially as trade unionists, to go there and ensure that there is a just transition and there is something to move forward into.
We need members across the country to help dispel, to take on these myths and basically make sure that other people in their workplaces and their communities understand we need to build this infrastructure. It's to the benefit of the environment, it's safe, we need it for our electricity system, and it's going to be a great source of jobs for maritime workers, for wharfies and for seafarers, because big chunks of our electricity grid are going to be at sea. And that's an amazing opportunity for us to be able to contribute to Australia's energy system in a really positive way.
It's time Australia goes big on renewable energy for our economy, for our security, for our future. Let's go!